that looks. Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back, Instagram. We're here for another benching and bullshitting episode. And I haven't done this in a while. It's been a few weeks since I've gone live. And we had the Swis this weekend, which was really fucking cool. It's in Columbus. It was in an area called Easton. And Easton, I got to lower this chair a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Easton is a very uppity, rich area in Columbus. So we don't fit in very well. Oh, nope, not at all. But still cool. The hotel, this thing, I thought it was going to be at like a convention center like the Arnold is in the Columbus Convention Center. This is in a hotel. It's in a giant fucking Hilton. And between Dave Tate and Dr. Ken Kanak, and they rent out like 7 ballrooms. And people host the seminars. What's up, Cody? In these things, there were doctors. There was specialists. I don't know what you would call somebody who specializes in synthetics. There's a lot of those too. And yeah, Martinez. What was the biggest surprise or conference that caught your attention? Well, I was sitting in at one, and there was a gentleman. He was from out of the country. I don't know where he was from, but he was speaking about synthetics. And when I stepped in, he was just talking about different oils, which I guess means the oils that the synthetics are in and you inject. So he was talking about good, bad, and ugly oils for synthetic use. And every word that came out of this guy's mouth, he could have been speaking French or Japanese. It wouldn't have fucking mattered because I didn't understand a thing this guy was talking about. Glycosanol and all these names and compounds and molecular names of structures of different. Oh man, it was insane. So that caught my attention. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's more complicated than I thought it was. When you get down to it, I guess it really is a science, and it's really cool. Jared says that's how I felt during the neurological strength lecture on day 1. I was only there day 2. I didn't get to make it down for day 1. Yeah, that sounds pretty complicated. What's going on, guys, on YouTube? And thanks for hopping on. It's a benching and bullshitting episode. We're talking about the Swis Symposium that was in Columbus this weekend. It was great to meet you briefly. Oh, well, I'm glad to meet you. Good to meet you. I'm good with faces, not with names. I apologize. I was great. I was greatly honored to be there. Me and Amber got to speak together. So originally in our time slot, it was going to be me, Amber, and Dr. Ken in the same time slot. But he wanted to give us maximum time to speak, so he took himself out. Now, it was cool because Dr. Ken was standing there, and he would kind of guide us through. So he would ask a question, and, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I would talk about that. And he'd lead on with another question. And, oh, that's great. I could talk about that. So I didn't really have to think very much about, like, the structure of what I was talking about. I was losing a little bit of sleep. I didn't sleep very much anyway. But I was like trying to think, how can I start? What's my second talking point? How do I go into this? How do I go into this? Didn't have to do that because he did that for us. He gave us all the direction we needed in order to be successful up there. And I had a blast. I gotta let the cat out real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, I know. There you go. So anyhow, it was fantastic, man. It was great. I really enjoyed myself. When I get talking, especially about something that's in my element, bench press, right, lifting weights, I can talk and talk and talk, and the nerves really aren't there. So it's really cool. Definitely would go back and do it again. Absolutely would. It was great to meet people. What's your cat's name? Cat's name is Penelope, or Peeves for short. Martina says, how was the pull seminar with Trevor Jaffe? It was cool. He definitely has a different body type than I do. So he tried to work with me up on the stage. Actually had me deadlift, and he was coaching me through it on his different techniques and stuff. And it was cool to hear him talk. Man pulls 4-time body weight deadlift, which is pretty rare. So he knows what he's doing. So it's definitely cool to work with him. He wanted to get somebody up there like the guy with the heaviest bench press ever done, and with a bench press body type, and get me up there and actually like put me through a deadlift. So it was cool. I mean, listening to him talk about the deadlift is fucking awesome. I'm sure he can do that just like I can talk about bench press. But yeah, so I got to meet. Dave Tate was there. We've met already, but I got to interact with Dave Tate, which is always a fucking pleasure. I got to meet Ed Cohen for the first time ever. I never met him before, so that was nice. Ed is very cool, very very polite. It was awesome to be around. Brian Carroll. Finally got to meet Brian Carroll. Hadn't met him before. Got to talk to him for just a little bit. Who else we got here? Seth Albertsworth. Got to meet Seth and his wife. They were cool. That was a good interaction. Of course, Dr. Ken. I met him at the Arnold. That's how I got invited to come speak. And then Trevor Jaffe. Uncle Nick was there. Uncle Nick, my handoff guy. I mean, he's a training partner of mine. He lives down here near us in Maryland, but he is also my handoff guy for my 1,400-pound bench press, and he was one of my side handoff guys for my 1,350. Jared says Ed Cohen coached my squat during his workshop. Great experience. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, we really, really, really wanted to be down there both days, but just that would require. I mean, my mom lives about it was an hour and 40 minutes to get there, to get to Easton. So without paying for a hotel, we would have had to have drove an hour and 40 minutes in, do the Swis, hour and 40 back, go to sleep, wake up really early, because me and Amber were the first speakers on Saturday. We were the first time slot at 8:30. So we had to get up plenty of time to get there on time or early. So we left at the house at 5, got there about 7-ish, or maybe slightly after 7. We ate breakfast when we got there at Chick-fil-A, and then conducted business. So yeah, it was cool. But we could not afford a hotel. We definitely could not afford to make the drive 4 times. So we were only there on Saturday. Tim Boyce over on YouTube. Also, Tony, good to have you on YouTube as well. Tim Boyce says, who is taller, you or Ed? I actually think we're equal. I'm pretty sure that we are the same height. I got a picture with him, and I think it's actually the picture that's here on the YouTube, my cover photo for this YouTube live. You can see me and him give an old fist bump, and I think we're the same height. I would bet and gander that we're about the same height. So yeah, it was awesome. Oh, Thomas says, Mr. Cohen helped me with my deadlift setup and execution. You can tell from a video I apparently was only semi-bracing and not pushing enough from my legs. Back takes over too much. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, Ed, I got to talk to, I had very limited interactions with Ed. I was hanging out with Jared and his girlfriend, Nick, Amber. Obviously, got to hang out with Amber and Katie. And we were just kind of walking around the Swis, kind of mingling and talking to people, but also sitting in a group and just swapping stories and talking powerlifting, which is just fucking awesome. How does it feel to break the world record for heaviest bench press? Just feels normal because that's what I train for. So, I don't know. I don't know. It feels great. It's special to me, but it doesn't feel like, when you train for something, it's not, I'm not saying, okay, that sounds so stupid to say it's not hard. It was extremely fucking hard, but when you're adapted to it, when you train for it, it's not that big a deal, but it's still, I'm really happy about it. Super Mario says, what's your next goal? Well, the next meet I'm doing is actually the Arnold Classic. We've got the Anderson Bench Invitational going on at the Arnold Classic, which is a 3-lift bench press for a total competition, which has never been done before. I'm really excited for that. And then, so I'm going to train for that. And the goal is to win it, obviously. That's a money opportunity as well. And then my sights are set on bench pressing 1,500 pounds. So that's the long-term goal is 1,500 pounds, 3/4 of an American ton. I know a metric ton is 1,000 kilos is like 2,204 pounds. I'm pretty sure 2,204, if I'm not mistaken. Thomas, if you help me out there, pretty sure metric ton is 2,204. Pretty sure. But an American ton is 2,000 pounds, and I'm an American, so I'm going to go with that one. So 3/4 of a ton would be the ultimate. Yeah, Thomas says, yeah, 2,200 plus. Okay. And yeah, Tony, when you love what you do, it's never work. That is an absolute fact. So yeah, that's the goals right there. We got the Arnold coming up, and then we got the pursuit of the 1,500 pound bench press. And so that leads me to an interesting. Thomas says 2,204.62 according to the calculator. Yeah, I was almost dead on except for the 0.62. 2,204 is in a metric ton. So for YouTube and all you guys, I'm going to be doing 2 YouTube series pretty soon. It's going to be a lot of work, and I'm not really good with YouTube and making videos, but I'll have to kind of buckle down and do it. But the first one's going to be kind of I'm not going to call it Road to the Arnold because that'd be kind of a slap in the face to Ryan because he has Road to the Arnold already. So this is going to be like my countdown to the Arnold. All the training, not every single week, but definitely like in weekly or bi-monthly segments, kind of my collective training, maybe random thoughts I have, things like that. Just kind of documenting the journey that's going to lead to going to the Arnold and competing. I thought that'd be kind of cool. So that's going to be eventually coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it. I want to start it soon. We got so much shit coming up. We were in Ohio the entire week. We're going to be home for 2 weeks. Then we're going back to Ohio because we got the IPA north of the border being hosted in Cincinnati. So we're going back to that because half our team is competing at it. And then we come back from that. And then maybe a week or 2 later, we're going to Vegas for the Wabdo Worlds. Ooh, so that's going to throw kind of a wrench in our training. But anyhow, that's going to be one thing. And the other YouTube series is going to be me training for the 1,500 pound bench press, which now that I'm back to heavy bench pressing, I'm kind of introducing it back into my training a little bit, like I did last week with the I did 1050 for 5 and 1065 for 7 full range in a half shirt. So that's going to be cool to kind of document the process to get there and all the misses and all the hard things and easy things and down times and up times, all those things all collected together to be kind of a series. So those will be coming eventually. Tim Boy says, in your opinion, what is the difference between arching and reaching for the bar with your belly or chest? I don't think there's really any difference at all. Arching is just basically just using your arching with the thoracic portion of your upper back. When reaching is actually like you're pushing your anatomy up. You're trying to actually force your belly and your anatomy up towards the bar. Reaching, you're trying to reach for the bar with your belly through abdominal pressure, but also through leg drive. I think about leg drive, pushing into the floor to actually help drive my belly up. So yeah, I guess they are not the same, but that would be the difference. And Thomas says, so 2,205 pounds to beat 1 metric ton. And you only need like a 820 pound squat and dead together to get the 3,000 pound club from Donnie and Dave. Well, the thing is too, if I were to ever do full power, I wouldn't use a band shirt, or if I did, it'd be a desperation move. If I was to do full power, it'd be with a poly shirt. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Actual like multiply. I would not use a band shirt. If I want to join the ranks of the all-time greats like AJ, like Chad, like Jeff Lewis, like Andy Bolton, Dave Hoff, Donnie Thompson, I need to do it the way they did it. That's just an opinion. That's my personal opinion. But in order to join them, I need to do it the way they did it and or are still doing it, i.e. like Dave Hoff is still doing it. So I would be using a poly for that. So really cool thing though. A friend of mine named Erica Folter, when I was up in Ohio, gave me this relic right here. Wanted to show this. Oh man, look at this shit. I've always wanted to get my hands on a Karen Klein double denim bench shirt because this is what I started in, and just for keepsake, I've always wanted to get my hands on one. And he had one that he's not ever going to use again that he can't even fit into, so he gave it to me. This is a 2-ply Karen Klein denim. Look at that shit. This particular one has grid stitched on the chest. This is not mine. This is not my original shirt, but it looks eerily similar. That mine had a tear on this side. I had a tear right here. It never got any worse. It was always there, but it didn't get any worse. So yeah, that's cool. This was revolutionary, dude. I mean, yeah, that's just so insane. So cool. It's just a pair of blue jeans. Karen Klein really had the best cut denims in the entire world. And yeah, it looks like a cut up jean pants. Please don't tell me it hit the rebound of jeans. No, it is. It's denim. It's jean material. It's exactly what it is. But yeah, he didn't want it anymore, and I really wanted to get my hands on one. So there you go. That'll go in my home gym eventually when I get my own spot, and it'll be up on the wall somewhere because that is what got me started. Right here, when I was 18 years old, Adam Hicks gave me a 2-ply denim. I would go from benching 550 all the way to benching 700 with that exact same shirt. And that's what got me sponsored with Anderson. And then the rest is history. So there you go. These are part of powerlifting history. These were the best cut denims ever fucking made. Man, oh man. So wanted to share that with you guys. JS Lindsay says, did close grip pinky on the ring in my single ply katana and felt stronger. Any suggestions or thoughts? Well, if you are closer, that means you're going to have a little more power because your arms are not angled out, they're angled up, which means all your force is going directly up. Now, the thing is, you're going to have to travel the bar, or the bar is going to have to travel a further distance, which means the shirt's going to have to stretch even further, which might be a problem. Eventually, that material might lock up on you. On top of that, if you are going closer, so I might have just counteracted myself, but contradicted. But if you're going closer, that means the shirt is not pre-stretched or not stretched as much. Well, it's at lockout, so it's not going to start stretching until it comes down even further. So you might not get as much stretch. It could be either way. I might have just like contradicted myself, but if you can make it work, I say do it. In my opinion, if you're equipped, you should always be as far out as you possibly can to get as much out of that piece of equipment as you possibly can. So it's going to take a lot more tricep strength, but there's pros and cons to everything. You could for further distance to go, you might have more power, you might not get as much stretch out of the shirt. There's pros and cons. So as does going wide, might have pros and cons too. I'm not a fan of going narrower when you're in equipment. What was your MOS in the Marines? I was a 2111 small arms tech or an armorer. I was an armorer for the McKessage Marine Corps MC Security Group HQ Marine Security Guard program at Quantico. That's what I did. Let's see. Honey Badger says, pretty stoked. Benched 405 in my new 2-ply dark side band shirt. Sweet. Good job, bro. Nice to hear that. It's always good to get a PR. The PRs are fucking awesome. They don't always come around, so enjoy it. Enjoy each one. And you should do a day of eating. I already have a day of eating. It's on my YouTube page. It's on YouTube. Jimmy Kolb on YouTube. I have a whole YouTube page. Also, if you want to become a member on YouTube, it's $10 a month, and you get to see all the behind-the-scenes training that I do. Same as Patreon. If you want to join me on Patreon, that is $10 a month, and you get to see the 5 days a week of training that I do, plus extra stuff. If I get like requests from members, like, hey, can you demonstrate this? Or hey, can you show about this or talk about this subject? I'll do that, make extra videos. So if you want to do that again, it's Kolb Strong on Patreon or just Jimmy Kolb on YouTube. But I do have a day of eating public eating video on YouTube. I'm going to do another one because that was a pretty popular video that I put out there. People were really interested in what I eat in a day. Thomas says, Jim, you also mentioned something about stronger triceps to talk about the video of my gym buddy I shared tagging you doing with the wrist rollers. Yeah. So I like I said, Thomas, I think with bench pressing, stronger triceps are almost always the answer. Second to that would be upper back. Then you're getting into things after that like technique and utilization of the equipment, stabilization, honing in on techniques, just things like that. But triceps is number one, and upper back is number two, in my opinion. Heavy. Now, you can't go heavy all the damn time on triceps, but you can't be afraid to, like I do. I'll go as heavy as doing triples on like dead stop floor or extensions. I'll do heavy triples with a really fucking heavy weight or sets of 5, really heavy. Treat the tricep movements as power movements, not just like, bodybuilding. So stronger triceps. They have to be the strongest pressing muscle in your upper body. They have to overpower your shoulders. They have to overpower your pecs because you want to rely on the triceps to do the majority of the work. If your pecs are stronger than your triceps, then you're going to rely more on those. So you have to make your triceps stronger than everything else. Let's see. Cool. Have you put much thought into how you're going to approach training now that you're taking the squat and deadlift serious again? Well, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of that. If I were going to take it like super serious, say like trying to compete in it, then what I would do is do exactly what I would do when I was doing full power back when I was like 20, 21, 22 years old. Two bench days, like always, that never changes. At least one lower body day where I squat and deadlift or one or the other. Upper back day, which I already do. And then I do also have a 5th day, which is Thursday. So I call that my random shit day. And again, this is all on Patreon. If you guys want to check that out, it's $10 a month. The YouTube members as well. No, I would do exactly that. Now, Thursday would eventually maybe become like a second lower body day. So like 2 bench, 2 lower body, and then that 1 upper back day, which I always think is completely fucking crucial. I absolutely think it's crucial. So that would never change for me. I would always have the upper back day because even myself, I don't think I have enough upper back. I don't think anybody does. I think everybody could use more upper back, especially for a strength sport. Is a bench press more beneficial than floor press for you? Yes, because we compete in the bench press. We do not compete in the floor press. So yeah, being the most proficient and strong and technically perfect as you can on the lift you're going to compete in is important. So floor press is always a second thought, or floor press is always a secondary thought, because the bench press is the competitive movement. Best time to do a PR, would it be a certain amount of training time? Thanks. For the first 6 months to a year, you shouldn't even be thinking about maxing out at all. You should only be thinking about building muscle and trying to get as big as you possibly can. So yeah, I'd say after a year, you can start testing yourself once in a while, maybe once a month, but don't do that for the first year. Just try to bodybuild and get as big as you possibly can and build your base and your motor functions. Thomas says, makes sense. Have you ever had a piece lift, supercharged rep in my case, stagnate like 1 to 2 inches from lockout and then turn into a skull crusher, spud strap, saved my ass? It's happened before. Yeah, it's just a matter of, it's just, I think your triceps gave up. It's 1 to 2 inches from lockout. That's your triceps showing a weakness. And then, yeah, that's fatigue triceps going into equipped. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it is. It's all about your tricep strength. No, Rich Putnam's on here. Yeah, glad to be back on, Rich. Good to have you on here. Glad you're healthy. I know we talked not too long ago. Glad to know that you're healthy, dude. That makes me really happy. And Keith looks like he's doing really fucking good too. That's good to hear. And I guess I won't see you guys until the Arnold. I'm not really competing or doing anything until the Arnold. I'm going to the north of the border here in like 2 weeks. We just got back from Ohio. We're turning right back around in 2 weeks to go back to Ohio. We got Wabdle Worlds in Vegas also in November. We're gonna have York in November as well, but I think we got to skip that one. We just don't have the time to do it. And I think we're good until the Arnold. I think we're good then. Dave Van Eaton says, "Did you ever use a Phenom before getting with Anderson?" I did one time. I bought one with my teenage money. That was expensive. If so, what did you hit? The very first workout with a 2-ply bone basic bitch Phenom, like the original one. First workout, I smoked 675 when my max was in a meet was like 650. So that was a good sign, the very first workout. I always wondered what someone like Gene, Ryan, Tiny would have done in their 30s if they had come across the F8 shirts. It would have been fucking insane. The 1,200 pound bench press would have probably already fucking happened. But then I look at, I still hold the highest poly bench ever done at 1120. So you could argue both ways. I don't know. It's not like I have the highest bench of all time or the heaviest bench period, but regardless of equipment, but nothing in poly. Like I have both titles. And ironically, that poly bench was also in single ply. So, I mean, I don't know. So yeah, that's the point I would argue. It's like, I wonder what they could do in their primes, especially like Ryan. But they're, comparatively, their poly benches are right about mine, or they're actually below. Tiny has the closest one at 1102, and then Ryan has 1075, and Scott was 1031. So I don't know. Yeah, I know you're not comparing us. I'm just kind of stating matter of fact. Like it's hard to think in those terms because it's what if and how and what do you think, and yeah, I was just kind of talking out loud. Yeah, you're fine, Thomas. I don't think you have anything to worry about. You just got to address the tricep issue. And yes, Rich says yes, definitely the Arnold. Can't wait. Good deal, man. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the Arnold, the next Arnold. As soon as the Arnold is over that year, I'm looking forward to the next one. That's how much fun we fucking have at that event. It's so cool. Cody says I benched with 80 pounds of chain in my bolt yesterday. Made a different stimulus, but the lifts went well. I have considered doing the same thing. I've considered doing shirted bench, talking with Dino and Owen. I've considered doing shirted bench with chains, just for that exact sake, like for a chain to stimulus. But I've never done it before, so maybe down the road. I'm not ready yet. I'm not really back to my old self yet, so I got to get back to that and get strong again. Sodium Canteen. Drinkelement.com. I'm not sponsored, but I love their product. The Element packets, 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet. And a box of 30 is like $40. Absolutely love the sodium. And this is actually a raspberry flavored. Ooh, it gets salty though. What's your shoulder day look like? I do not have a shoulder day. Nope. I do shoulder work once in a while. It's all rear delts. I don't do the front or the sides. It's all rear delt work. Nothing overhead. It's all rear delts. Thomas says, yeah, maybe doing 5x5 reverse grip on 80% raw, then going for a full touch, 22-pound PR with supercharged RAM was a bit too much. Yeah, dude. I mean, volume is key. 5x5s are awesome, especially with your variations, reverse grip, close grip, incline, whatever it is, floor press. I do reverse grip on everything. I've done reverse grip, floor, flat, incline, decline, just blasting the triceps from any and all angles that you can. So yeah, just gotta keep working. It's the accumulation of training over time. So nothing happens overnight. You've been working for a long time, and I think you just keep going and you'll find success. Yeah, Cody says it could be a tool to get back to being strong and confident. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to do it eventually. I just think I need to this weekend. So last weekend, I went up to 1065 for the full range set of 5 that I did, which felt great. I think I could have kept going because the week before that, I did 1,000 for 8, which was the first time handling 1,000 or second time handling 1,000 since my meet in Tennessee back in end of July. I did it for 8 reps full range. I went up to 1,007 or 65. Did it for 7 full range. So I definitely went up. Like it's coming back fast. So this weekend, even though we have the American Pro up here in Virginia in Manassas, we have the American Pro and Anderson. Kevin's actually coming up with a booth. That'll be fun to hang out with Kevin. It's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm still going to train though. So Saturday, I was hoping to actually go up to 1,200 pounds, which is the most I've handled since my meet by almost 150 pounds. So, but I think I'm ready for it. I think it'll be fine. Thomas says, so now we're just trying out what more floor press and reverse grip is going to do for me. Yes. Yep. Like you can reverse grip on almost anything. Like you really can. Turns out my floor press is only about 22 pounds under my best bench. My reverse grip is only 33 pounds under my best bench. So I'd argue I can't arch or leg drive. I'd say, yeah, if your floor press is within close proximity to your flat bench, you're not utilizing your lower body very good. You need to learn how to use your lower body more. You should have a significant gap. Like my best floor press, this is all equipped, remember. My best floor press performance was 1,005 for a triple, paused triple on the floor. Whereas I did 1,320 for 5 reps from one board on the flat bench. So it just shows the difference in what taking your legs completely out of the lift can really do. Cody says I'm going in tomorrow to speak with a surgeon about whether I should replace my hip at 40 years old. Oh God, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. You'll be fine. You've been through worse. Let me know how that goes, Cody, please. And David's on here. Tips for reverse grip bench or reverse grip on single ply poly. Want to help a training partner. Tips for reverse grip on single. Okay, so that's tricky. That's tricky because I've never done it. I've never done single ply poly reverse grip. I've done reverse grip with slingers. I think maybe I did one reverse grip in a band shirt, but I've never gone single ply poly reverse grip. Shit, I wish I had something for you. He's going to have to learn how to bench in a straight line. He's not going to be able to drift over the face very much. There's nothing back here to catch the weight. He has to push in a straight line towards his feet. He can contact me if you want, David. He can send me videos. I know who you're talking about. I've seen him do it before. But I can't really... That's tough. I don't know because I've never done it before. I wish I could help more. The Shesh says, how can I make bulking more efficient from a financial standpoint? Ooh. Well, I should know that because we're poor as fucking dirt, especially in Virginia. We're way below the poverty line. If you can't eat your calories, drink them. Weight gainer. That changed everything for me. Yeah, you still have to buy it. But weight gainer. I'm not talking like buy 1 6-pound tub. I'm talking like buy 2 20 or 12-pound fucking bags, 24 pounds. That's what I started with. I'm like, because weight gainer is not going to work unless you do it all the time. A consistent high caloric intake. And weight gainer was the end all be all for me. I was a hard gainer for pretty much almost my entire fucking life. And once I hopped on the weight gainer, seriously, that's what changed everything for me. So weight gainer. It's going to be cheaper than having to buy like Whole Foods and like rice. Okay, rice is super fucking cheap and it's loaded with carbs. And I can eat rice like I get paid for it, which I did. Pasta is good. I can eat more rice than pasta. Just add some fucking olive oil on your rice, some salt. Big Himalayan salt's my favorite. Just fucking shovel that down. That's cheap as hell. You can buy a 10-pound bag of rice for like $5. So, but weight gainer, the calorie dense weight gainers. My favorite so far has been BSN's Mass 1200, I think it's called. And then MHP's Triple XL 1350 is probably my all-time favorite. Rich knows what I'm talking about. This third would be the Mutant brand of weight gainer. You can actually buy that off fucking Amazon, which is super convenient. Oops, sorry. Okay, Dave. Yeah, he benches super low. Lockout seems hard. Work, no flare. Yeah, have him send me a message and some videos. We can talk about it because I need to look at what he's doing, like actually pay attention to what he's doing so I can try to help him out a little bit. But let's see what we got here. Thomas says, Tony, I lost my place here. Okay, Tony, I'm blessed there isn't more damage to my body than there is now at 52. Knock on wood. Yeah, I'll knock on. There you go. I'll do that with you. Yeah, Rich says MHP Triple XL was a great tip from you. Oh, well, thank you. Well, yeah, that's my fit. It's like drinking candy. I can drink it all fucking day. Oh, that was such a good weight gainer. Fucking awesome. Let's see. Okay. Leg drive is definitely an issue, often with my ass. So I'm basically now only using my legs to stabilize things. But hey, if strong reverse grip bench and floor press have the same carryover, I'm good. Yeah, dude. Just keep hammering it away and keep sending over the videos and hopping on here. I like talking to you and trying to help you out as much as I can from afar, of course, because you're very, very far away. I know it's late out there too. So awesome shit. What impresses you? That's a good question. A lot of things impress me. Big deadlifting impresses me because I can't fucking do it. I like the idea. I love the concept of deadlift. I just suck at it because I have a bench press body. So really big deadlifts impress me. Everything in strongman impresses me. I watch strongman all the fucking time. I can't get enough of it. I love strongman. Arm wrestling's pretty cool. It's an extreme sport, I'd say. Anything taken to the extreme. I'll dummy it down even further. Any sport or activity taken to the extreme, I am a really big fan of. I'm a really big fan of things taken to the extreme. There you go. Hiking, mountaineering, deep sea diving, solo diving, records, fucking anything taken to the extreme. I can watch it all fucking day. Big Push says, do you prefer or suggest STB triple or Overkill triple? Thank you for your input. I've not used either one of those, so I can't really say. The only thing I can say from a financial standpoint, I say, in my opinion, don't waste your money on an STP because you'll use it a couple of workouts, it'll stretch out, and it'll be fucking worthless. And Inzer will not alter equipment for you anymore. Now, so financially speaking, I say your wiser choice is to go with Rudy and get a triple ply Overkill. Although his material it's called Overkill, right? For a reason. Those are Scott's words. It can be very, 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 very stiff material. Now, his black material is the stiffest. I think this is right. His red is stretchier. His gray line, from what I understand, is super stretchy and lots of rebound. So I would go with a Overkill gray line if you had to choose between the two. If you're going with triple ply and stuff like that, although I'm a big advocate for single ply and advocate, of course, highly for the Super Katanas and the F6 single plies. But again, it's all opinion based, right? So, but yeah, if you are choosing specifically between those two, there's my opinions. The SCP might work great the first workout, and then it'll be fucking dead after that, or might blow out on you. And the Overkills, they have different levels of material. Thomas says, I appreciate that, buddy. Wish I could fly down there and at any given time and come train with you for a couple weeks. Hell, I'd even pay for it then, but money, man, shy. Well, if you ever make it to the States, you're welcome to lift with us for free. So there you go. Obviously, I think the day passes at Unleashed. I know your first workout is free, and then the day passes are, I forget what they are now. Hell, if it's going to be a few weeks, you might just get like pay for a whole month membership, which is like 45 or 50. I forget what the rate is now. But So you can come train anytime. I tell people that all the time. People message me like with the most weird messages, like, "Hey, is it okay if we come down to train with you? How much would it cost to come train with you? What would you charge? Is it? I don't. We're like, I'm like, bro, what do you think I am, dude? You can come train with us. More the merrier. We love to have people come train with us. So never feel like you have to ask. Well, I mean, ask that you know that I'm going to be there because we travel a lot, and I want to make sure that I'm actually there. If you're coming specifically down to train with us, but yeah, otherwise we don't really we don't care if you want to come down and lift, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's quite a trip to make for only a couple of days. It'd have to be a few weeks to make it worth it, of course, financially speaking, but also getting to work with you. But yeah, so back behind me here, I got the denim sitting right there. I've got the an F8 shirt as well. Big fucking difference, as you can see. I think this F8 particularly, it's Anderson green, which is fucking awesome. That's actually wrap material from Anderson. That's KLA 4000 material that's on the sleeves and the collar. So that will probably, I'm going to experiment with that shirt this weekend. Like I said earlier, I want to try to go up to 1,200 pounds, which will be the heaviest weight that I've touched since my competition at the end of July. The heaviest so far has been 1065. So I'm going to try to go up to 12. I think that'll be a good landmark for me. Eric says, "Hey Jimmy, quick question. I notice when I do reverse grip bench, I feel it a lot in my biceps. Is that normal, or should I be feeling it more in the upper back? Thank you, and have a great week." So yeah, if you're in the biceps, that's strength. That's again, I've not experienced that. Some people say that it could be the positioning of the elbow, it could be positioning of the upper arm because you are not, pronated. You are twisting a little bit. Your bicep is in a slightly different position. Just could be putting extra strain on your arm in a different manner, but you should be. It is an upper back and tricep dominated bench press variation. It's all about the mind muscle connection, which sounds stupid because it's a bench press, but it's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to learn how to engage properly. So you bring the weight down with the upper back, driving your elbows in a little bit. When you touch, you have to learn how to not use your chest and your shoulders, but rather use your triceps to initiate off the chest. It's very difficult to learn. It's very tricky, especially when you're under max load. Feel it when I'm lowering the weight. Okay. You might not be engaging with your upper back and rear delts enough, so maybe work on that. I found myself actually getting pretty lazy with my upper back during bench press for a while. I was flexing my traps and my lats, but my mid back, my like lower traps, even like my upper erectors, I wasn't flexing that very, very hard. And if that's something that's loose, that means something that probably is not engaging correctly. So you have to learn to use your upper back to lower the weight. You can't turn muscle groups off. So like your biceps will always be engaged, your pecs will always be engaged. But you can shift the emphasis more towards one muscle group or the other, i.e. we want to try to use our upper back to lower the weight and then support the weight while sitting on your chest, or in the reverse grip case, it's going to be more on your belly, and then get a launch with the triceps. You might need to warm up the biceps. I don't know if you stretch or do anything like that, but maybe your biceps need to be warmed up prior to benching. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then Thomas says, I've noticed my biceps do more in a smaller grip because it turns somewhat into more of a bicep curl than with the pressure of the lower arm turned over to the biceps, and that makes sense. Yeah, wider grip. So yeah, that might also be a thing too, Eric. You might need to go a little bit wider. The rings, when I do reverse grip bench, I put the rings of the bar right here in my palm. That's now if I was competition legal, I'd have to actually cover the ring with my pinky finger, so come in a little bit. But I put the rings right here in the palm, pretty wide. If you're going narrower, that might put more strain on the bicep as well. That's a good point, Thomas. Oh boy, got about 15 minutes left. We got any last minute questions or anything like that? That's what I'm basically on here for, is to answer questions. So got anything for me, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about up and coming things. And I mean, the Swis was cool, man. I really wish we could have been there both days. That would have been so damn cool. I missed so much on the first day. I didn't get to hear Matt Wenning. I'm pretty sure Brian Carroll was speaking that day. I didn't get to see any of that, but we just could not float it. There was no damn way, especially being in Easton. Oh, Easton is just such a uppity, rich prick area. Oh, as soon as we left the Swis, we went just into town, like 5 minutes, a little bit deeper into town, parked, and some motherfucker in a BMW had a real problem with me parking behind him. I just didn't have a good time in Easton. Besides being at the Swis, of course. Yeah, Eric says I'm definitely not that wide. Okay, yeah, go wider. Yeah, mid or small grit. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, try putting the ring right there in the palm. Go wider. And if you're on Instagram, please, you can reach out to me and send videos if you wish as well, Eric. No problem. T-Rex says, yeah, Easton, yuppie central. Yeah, this fucking dickhead. I pulled into a meter. BMW driver being an ass. Shocking. Yeah, these guys we pulled into a spot. We're feeding the meter. We're sitting in our car. And this fucker started backing up. And he'd stop and back up and back up and back up and back up. And I was honking. Each time he'd fucking go, I'd honk, 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 honk. I was honking at him. Even a guy on the sidewalk was like trying to wave. I'm like, stop. What are you fucking doing? And then he pulls forward. He stops right in the middle of the intersection. I saw his window rolling down. I was like, oh, you fucking prick. Whoa. He puts his head out the window and says, I know where the fuck I'm going. And as he was saying it, I just honked again, like to interrupt him. He just stared at me, and I was like, he flipped me off and drove. I was like, you motherfucker. God damn. I felt like I was in Virginia again. We're in fucking Columbus. What the hell? So, anyway. Yeah, BMW drivers. Yeah, that was great. That was a good time for me. Do you do the lock 3? I do not. Is that Andrew lock? I'm not sure what that is. So I do not do it because I don't know what you're talking about. Some of your favorite accessory exercise to up the bench press. Yes. Well, we've been talking a lot about the reverse grip bench. That'd be the very, very first one, top of the list, top shelf movement. Would be the reverse grip bench. On top of that, tricep floor extensions like dead stop floor extensions would be another one. And then all assortments of like dumbbell extensions and things like that. But the reverse grip bench absolutely takes the number one spot as being the best bench builder out there. Andrew Locke. Nope, I don't do anything he has said or put out there. I am unfamiliar with. I don't do anything that he's said because I'm just not aware. My bench is stronger with a grip pinky on the rings versus index rings. What could that indicate? That probably indicates that you have stronger triceps, which is a good sign. If you're raw, you probably don't want to go maximum grip anyway. So bringing the grip in is fine. That's going to put less pressure on that shoulder complex. You don't want to go super wide raw. That's a very, very, very old school technique, going really wide raw. Coming in narrower, if you look at all the biggest raw benchers around, especially look at Eric Spoto, Jeremy Hoornstra. He benched almost practically like close grip. Swim hack. What's his name? Swim hack. Damn it. Damn. God, I feel like an ass. What's his name? Swim hack. Fuck. James. James Strickland. God dang it. There you go. Thanks, Jared. James Strickland. Yes. Thank you. He benches super fucking narrow. So nobody, I don't think anybody these days, Strickland. I don't think anybody these days really heavy raw actually benches all the way out. Look at Scott Mendelson. He was like medium. Strickland and Hohenster are both real fucking narrow. So I think it's just a tricep thing. And when you're raw, when you go wide, and your forearms are angled out, when you push, some of your force is going out, not up into the bar. Yes, shorter range of motion, arguably more efficient, but some of your force is going out. When you come in a little bit, when you bench raw, you should be 90-degree angle. So that brings me to that point. Dave right there, he says Kirill did. Well, Kirill was also 6.5 feet fucking tall, it seemed like. So for him going super wide, I think he had a very, very 90-degree angle of his forearm to bicep with it, So you want that. You want to have that's the best mechanical advantage for like when you're raw lifting. So if you go in narrower, you might find if you set up a camera at the head of the bench and look at you when you touch with like an empty bar, you might find that you have a 90-degree angle with your arms, which is the most efficient way because all of your force pushing into the bar is going up, not out. But also more stress on the pec tendon, but that's for raw, no bueno. No, that's why I don't bench raw. Because I don't want to. Working on positioning and some heavy dumbbell work, as was recommended to me for weakness off the chest. Any suggestions? Well, if you're weak off the chest, I would argue that your upper back is lacking, or your upper back engagement in the bench press is also lacking. So whether it be your development, whether it be your strength, whether it be your engagement, off the chest problems. I mean, dumbbells are great because they are independent of each other. And you work a lot of the smaller muscles in the upper body. That's fine. But you need to address that upper back issue for off the chest. That's what I would argue there. So, if you test you have your flat bench should be the heaviest lift of the three I'm about to talk about: the incline bench, flat bench, and floor press. So your flat bench should be the biggest, and your incline and your floor press should be a pretty big gap lower than those two. If someone could bench press or incline press very close to what they flat bench, the incline press, you can still use your legs. You can still use your leg drive in the incline, but your upper back is kind of taken out of the movement a little bit. So if your incline bench is close to your flat bench, that's also a sign because you're not using your upper back as much or very little in the incline. I would argue your upper back is not being engaged while you are flat benching. Adversely, if you're like Thomas or somebody else, I forget, but if your floor press, it was Thomas, if your floor press is very close to your flat bench, then adversely, because the floor press takes your lower body out of the equation, then I'd say on the flat bench, you're not using your lower body very much or to the max advantage. So there's two testers there, incline bench and floor press, to kind of pinpoint what your problem could be if you're struggling on the bench. So that's what I would say for that. But yeah, so, oh boy. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of the podcast here, it's got a bunch of YouTubes. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Thomas says Kirill is or was 6'6". He was 6'6". Yeah. He weighed 375 to 390 pounds at 6'6". Yep. Yeah. So there you go. That kind of explains it. Why he could go max grip on raw bench, but he's 6'6" and almost 400 pounds. So for his body proportions, that was probably fine going wide because he still had that 90-degree angle with his forearms that everybody tries to look for. What's up, Matt? Matt Brooks on here. It's going great, dude. Just got back home from the Swis in Columbus, Ohio. We've been talking about it a little bit. I also got a Karen Klein denim right there. A friend of mine gave me one because I just want one for keepsake. So we talked about that. So it was a pretty good weekend. Eric Laba, on a side note, do you get a lot of respect from others at the symposium, or do you not have beef with certain people? You don't need to name drop. I get along very, very well with people in person. I only get the death threats from people that online. So So no, it's usually fucking teenagers. So no, in person I interact. I have very 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 positive interactions with people. Very very positive. So no, I had a great time with the Swis. I love doing in person events. Talking and going to events and speaking or hosting seminars or going to the Arnold. Well, thank you. Jimmy's the nicest person to interact with. Yeah, I don't. If you don't approach me, that's the thing. I don't generally approach people. If you don't approach me, I probably won't talk to you. That's just kind of the way I am. So it's not a person. It's not a. I'm not doing it out of spite. It's just the way I am. If you want to talk to me, you probably have to approach me because I'm not going to approach anybody. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But thank you for saying so. What is an appropriate scenario where someone would have to strengthen, develop their front delts and or pecs? Well, I think any situation requires that, because you want everything to be super strong. So, now front delts get a fucking beating with all the pressing motions. I don't think front delts need to be worked extra in any way, shape, or form. But I think everything needs to be super strong. So your pecs, shoulders, triceps, upper back, grip, forearms, biceps, everything needs to be super strong. So in every situation, I think that they need to be worked. But like I said at the beginning as well, you don't need to, you want your triceps to be the strongest out of all of them. If your pecs overpower your triceps, you're going to rely on pecs to do the majority of the work. And that's where people tear them off the bone or get belly tears. They always need to be worked. You want everything to be strong. The triceps need to be strongest. Dude's a tank. He's like sub 1,000 squat, 800 bench, 700 pull at 220. Who are we talking about? I might have missed. Oh, my boy Zach. Oh, yeah. Zach, yeah, dude. Yeah, Zach. I missed that one. Yep, I got his number actually. I was like, hey, if you ever want to talk, or he's like, if you're ever in Tennessee, you can come over and bench with us. I'm like, do you have Instagram? He goes, no. I said, well, here's my number. So yeah, I got his number from him. Yeah, he was a cool dude. Very, very nice, very polite, and he was pretty funny. So yeah, that was I get along really great with people. To answer that question again, I never have any bad interactions in public in real life. Yeah. Let's see. Can you get a really high bench, just flat bench, or do you need to do accessory workouts? You need to do accessory workouts. That's what separates guy A from B, from C, D, E, F. If everybody just flat bench did nothing else, they would probably be pretty close to each other. Although, given genetics, that's going to cause differences in strength. But you have to do the accessory work. You got to do the shit that nobody wants to fucking do. So yeah, you have to do that. Eric says benching 1,400. What more is there for you to learn on the bench? I think quite a bit. I mean, I'm always learning, even today. So yeah, I think there's more I can do or learn. I get bad habits once in a while too, and my guys point it out, or my wife definitely can point shit out too. She's the first one to call me out on my fucking bullshit in the gym. Get up off the bench, like, well, what the fuck was that? I'm like, what do you mean? What'd I do? And she goes, oh, you did this, or you didn't do this, or you missed that, or whatever it was. So, yeah. So I'm always improving or trying to improve or learning stuff. Always. Thomas says, let's see. An average wingspan for males is generally 1 to 3 inches wider than their length. Gotcha. So what would be like a 6'8" to 6'10", maybe wingspan? Damn. For a 32-inch maximum grip, or like 2 feet 10 inches. Average NBA player is also 6'6" to 6'8", according to their interwebs for reference. That's a big dude. Yeah. No, so yeah, we got oh Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, we're just gonna be traveling a lot. We knew October and November were going to be fucking lit as far as the travel. It's holding true to this day. So, like I said before, we have the Swis, we've got north of the border in 2 weeks. So we're going to be at north of the border. We'll be there. The whole crew will be there, actually. Get to hang out with Amber, and the whole crew's coming up to hang out and enjoy Corn Crib, Ohio festivities, whatever that may be or entail. I think we mostly want to go to the Wright Pat Air Force Museum, which is actually off base, which is nice because I thought it was on Wright Pat. It's not. So we're going to go to the museum and see that because it's free. It's supposed to be like the best Air Force museum in the entire country, which is cool because it's in Ohio. And then north of the border is the next day on Saturday. We'll be there all fucking day because there'll be a lot of lifters. And Leah and Laura, Leah's running it, but Laura used to run it all the time. They're going to run a fucking tight ship. Not worried about that at all. They're going to run a fucking awesome show. Two of the best females in the industry. And I know them personally. They're really good friends. They're both fucking awesome. Cincinnati was, Cincinnati ain't too pretty, Matt. It's not, it ain't too pretty. But it's Ohio. I mean, there ain't a lot of spots in Ohio that are actually good looking. What do you think is the most common bench issue you see with novice lifters? That's a good question. Too much engagement. God, fucking hair in my mouth. Too much engagement from the chest, like chest dominant pressing, as opposed to tricep dominant pressing. Which is a learned skill. You have to make your triceps super fucking strong to do that. Man, I haven't. That's a really good. That kind of threw me off. I haven't thought about that in a while. Goddamn hair. Most common bench issues. I think a lot of it has to do with engagement because the bench press is not just take the bar out and push in a line. You know, there's so much more to it than that. There's upper back engagement. There's lower body engagement. With lower body engagement, some athletes, newer athletes, tend to push straight down into the floor, which causes their ass to go up like that. So adverse force, you push straight down, your ass goes up. You have to learn to push away, push yourself up the pad. I actually try to take the material that the pad is covered in, the covering of the bench. I try to deform that with my upper back by being pushed into the pad and drive myself up the pad. So it has a lot to do with engagement and just like benching like chest dominant or shoulder dominant, which is easy to do for a novice lifter because we use our shoulders in everyday life. Like, oh, I gotta get that stuff off the top of the shelf, or I gotta pick something up and push it overhead, or shoulders get used every day pretty commonly and triceps don't. So it's very easy and common to have an athlete push from the bigger chest and shoulder muscles as opposed to triceps. So it's a learned skill. And you have to develop strong triceps that have a lot of endurance in order to accomplish that. So there's a lot that I could go on for hours now that I'm actually thinking about it. But very good question, though. Eric says, what would happen if Ryan Canelli put on one of the band shirts? He may be your only competition. He was putting a band shirt on. I saw him go up to maybe next Monday. Yep. Maybe next Monday, yeah. Always feel free to message me if you have questions. That's I leave that open for everybody. If you have questions, always message me. And Ryan was in band shirts a lot for the last 2 or 3 years, actually, since 2020. I saw him go up to 11. The heaviest I've seen Ryan go up to, because he put it on his show, Bench Monster TV, every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard or 7 p.m. Western time. Hey, have a good day. Have a good night, David. Thanks for hopping on here, bud. Yeah, he went up to 1,120. I think was the highest I've seen Ryan go in a band shirt so far. But then you got to think, too, Ryan is 48. Not that that's old, but he's not 30 anymore. He's not in his 30s. Now, if he was in his prime, different story. But right now, I think he actually retired from competing, which really upset me. I think he did an actual public, I am not competing anymore, which really saddened me. Scott's gone up to 1250 off a 2 board, I think, in his band shirts. Ryan's gone up to 11 plus. And then obviously Meeker's gone 11, 12, 13 in his band shirts as well. So I saw Tony Carlino. He went up to 1,300 pounds off a board, I think early last year sometime. So there's lots of guys handling big weights. Yep. Absolutely. So if there's any last minute questions, I'll take them now. I'm just going to do my plugs real quick, so we're approaching the end. Again, if you want to see what I do in the gym, 5 days a week, Patreon or YouTube members is $10 a month. You get to watch everything that I do with full commentary over top of it, why I do it, how I'm doing it, updates, things like that. Every rep and every setup, every movement that I do in the gym is on Patreon or YouTube members for $10 a month. All the behind the scenes footage that lead me to the big bench presses. Anderson Powerlifting, of course. I got my code, which is right up here. Kolbstrong, KOLB, STRONG. You can use that for 10% off anything in the store of your entire order. So if you're looking to get a new band shirt, that's $300 or $400. You use my code, that could save you 10%. That's quite a bit when you get up to those kind of numbers. The code does not work for the F8 Sport Craft Bench Bar. Disclaimer, that's the only thing in the store the code does not work for. Okay, so the code does not work for the bench bar. There you go. That's about it, I think. What we got here? Why did you never join Westside? That's what Eric is asking. Because I didn't feel the need to. I grew up an hour from Columbus in Ohio. I was an hour east of Columbus, and I never went. Louis called me twice. He called me after I benched his one teenager, Mike Brown. Mike Brown had the heaviest teenage bench press at 735 at 315 body weight, and I benched 740 pounds at 220 body weight. And he called me and tried to recruit me, just talked to me for like 15 minutes about all the things his gym has done and all the big numbers his guys have put out and come live with us. And I was like, oh, I've got a pretty good thing going on here at Blackstone's. I just want to stay here. Thanks for the call, Lou. He called me again after I benched 900 pounds at 21 years old, which was a single ply bench. He called me, and again, he's like, well, I don't know what the fuck you're benching a single ply for. We'll get you in a triple ply STP. I was like, no, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. And then I never spoke to him again. And I only went to Westside one time in 2020 at the Arnold COVID Classic. And me, Ryan, and Tiny went there to go visit. And at the time, the three of us had the top 3 heaviest benches ever done, which was ironic. 1035 for third place for me, 1075 for Ryan, 1102 for Tiny. The top 3 heaviest benches went to Westside, and Louis didn't fucking come because it was Sunday. He didn't come in on Sundays. So I never got to meet Lou. Sadly, I never got to meet Louis. That's kind of a regret that I'll probably always have for the rest of my life. And it makes me sad. But for someone to affect your life that much, someone you've never even met before who can affect your life that much is pretty incredible. To say he didn't change the sport, it would be a complete fucking lie. And to say he didn't touch people's lives from afar in some way, shape, or form would also be a fucking lie. So he did affect my life positively, I think, in many different instances, but I never got to meet him. So that makes me sad, but our reality is you can't go backwards until science develops a way to go backwards in time, which is almost scientifically, physically impossible, except in very, very rare theoretical circumstances. But you can't go backwards, so that's just the way it is. So anyway, that should be about it. I'll repeat one more time that I'm going to put out a YouTube series. So if you're on my YouTube, that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to document the training leading up to the Arnold this year. So it's going to be my journey, not the Road to the Arnold. That's Ryan Kennelly's. That's my buddy Ryan Kennelly's slogan, Road to the Arnold. Fucking awesome DVD. I'm not taking that. My journey to the Arnold, my countdown to the Arnold, something like that this year. We got the Anderson Invitational bench meet. It's a 3-lift bench meet for a total. So it's your 3 bench attempts combined for a total to determine your placing. That's never been done before in competition. So you got to pick your weights wisely. Because if you miss one, you really put your chances. It'd behoove of everybody to get all 3 attempts to get the best chances at placing the highest. So that's kind of the goal. I'm going to document the training for that and just put it on Anderson Adventure to the Arnold. Better write that down. and venture. I'm writing. I'm slow. Thank you very much. I might use that or some variation of that. So thank you. My nose is all fucking irritated. Shit. So that's gonna be cool. It won't be necessarily like every single week. Like every single week. It might be like a cluster, like once a month or twice a month or 3 times a month. But just like random stuff, like me training in the gym, me driving down the road, having a random thought. It could be anything. And just kind of leading up to that Arnold, because that's a money meet. It'll be my first competition since my 1,400-pound bench competition at the end of July. So that'd be kind of cool, coming back on the stage for the first time since July. About 7 or 8 months of not competing, which will be really fun. And then after that, I might even start it midway through, but obviously the next channel or the next series on my YouTube channel will be Road to 1,500. Saying it out loud is kind of crazy. Yeah. 1,500. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, my brain's all fucked up. So anyway, yeah, new YouTube content again. These series again, leading up to the Arnold, and then going into the 1,500-pound bench press. So I want to thank everybody for hopping on here. It's been a great time. It's been just over an hour. I got to cut it. I want to keep it at an hour as much as I can. So again, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard is when I hop on here, both on YouTube and Instagram, to talk about your benching bullshit. If not you, then who? Yeah. It's got to be me. Shit. Oh, that's a big number. That's a big fucking number. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on here. It's had a really good time. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the awesome ideas. And I'll see you all next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for benching and bullshitting. So have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week. Stay strong. Lift some heavy weights. If you have questions for me during the week, you can, of course, DM me on Instagram, which is just Kolbstrong, KOLB, S2RONG. Thank you. Thank you very much. And all right. See you guys next time.